My daughter is only 6 years old. But last night, she drew a picture of my funeral, with me in the coffin. Then she pointed behind me and whispered, "That's the man who hurts you." At first I thought she was just imagining things. Until I recognized him. The same man I'd seen outside the grocery store, outside Lily's school, and even near our home. Always close, always watching. This is the story of my daughter Lily has always been different. Not in a strange or scary way. Just soft, quiet, and far more observant than any 6-year-old I've ever known. While other kids her age chase butterflies or fight over toys, Lily sits with her sketchbook, drawing things she feels. Not things she sees, things she feels. Most parents would laugh it off as imagination. But Lily's drawings have always been accurate. Too accurate. Last winter, she drew a picture of our car with a flat tire. 2 days later it happened. She drew her teacher sick in bed. The next week, the school sent out a notice. Flu outbreak in her class. Little coincidences. Small moments. Never serious. Never dangerous. Until now. The morning after she handed me that picture of my funeral, Lily was unusually quiet during breakfast. She kept glancing at the door like she was expecting someone to walk in. "Lily," I asked gently, "who was the man you drew behind me?" She didn't answer. She simply lifted her finger and pointed to the hallway. My heart dropped. There was no one there. I picked her up and held her close, trying not to let her feel how fast my heart was beating. That afternoon, after I dropped Lily at school, I stood outside the building for a moment, watching her small figure disappear through the front doors. Parents around me chatted loudly, laughed, hurried to work. But I felt watched. It wasn't paranoia. It was a feeling I'd been trying to ignore for weeks. Because Lily's drawing wasn't the first time I had seen him. Once outside the grocery store. Just standing near the entrance. Not shopping. Not walking. Just standing there. I caught his eyes for a second, or maybe he caught mine, and even in the noisy parking lot something felt wrong. Another time I saw him across the street from Lily's school. Hands in his pockets. Face half hidden by a hood. Staring in our direction. I tried to convince myself. He's probably waiting for someone. He's just passing by. Stop overthinking. But now, with Lily's drawing in my hand, those little moments didn't feel little anymore. That evening, while Lily colored on the living room floor, I studied the drawing again. The man in her picture was tall, with a long coat and no face, just a dark shape. And behind him, a shadow reaching toward me. I gently asked, "Lily, does he talk to you?" She didn't look up. She just shook her head. "Does he follow you?" Another slow shake. Then she whispered, "He follows you." The room felt colder. Even Lily's crayon seemed to stop in her hand. Later that night I checked every lock twice. Closed every curtain. Turned on every light. When I looked out the window, the street was empty. Silent. Safe. But something inside me said otherwise. And when I finally went to bed, Lily crawled into my room and whispered, "Sleep here. It's safer." She had never said something like that before. I held her close, and the truth settled deep in my chest like a weight. This wasn't imagination. This wasn't coincidence. Someone was out there. Someone who had been near us for weeks. Someone Lily already sensed before I ever noticed. And for the first time in my life, I understood something terrifying. My daughter wasn't drawing the future. She was warning me about the present. Full 8 minutes, humanized and emotional. The next morning started like any other. But nothing felt normal anymore. I kept replaying Lily's words in my mind. "He follows you." 6 simple words from a 6-year-old. Yet they hit me harder than anything an adult had ever said. When we got into the car for school, Lily buckled her seatbelt and whispered, "Drive fast today." "Why fast?" I asked gently. She stared out the window. "Because he doesn't like when you leave." Those words felt like ice down my spine. I didn't ask more. I didn't want to scare her. But I also didn't want to show her how scared I was. I dropped her off, watched her walk into school, and waited in the car longer than usual. Just watching. Parents rushed past me. Kids screamed and laughed. Life moved like nothing was wrong. But I kept scanning the street, the corners, the sidewalks. Looking for him. Nothing. Still, the silence didn't feel safe. It felt like the calm before something terrible. When I finally drove to work, my phone buzzed. It was a message from the school. Lily seemed anxious today. Everything all right at home? I typed a quick reply. Just a rough morning. And closed the phone, ashamed of how much I was hiding. Later that afternoon, the first strange thing happened. When I returned home, the front door was unlocked. I froze. I knew I had locked it this morning. I always check twice. Especially lately. I stepped inside carefully. Everything looked normal, but I could feel it in my bones. Someone had been here. I checked the living room. Nothing. The kitchen. Nothing. But in the hallway, something small and chilling made me stop. Lily's drawing, the funeral picture, wasn't on the table where I left it. It was now pinned to the refrigerator with a magnet. Perfectly centered. Like someone wanted me to see it the moment I walked in. My knees almost gave out. Called out. Hello? Is someone here? Silence. I checked every room. Every closet. The backyard. Nothing. But the drawing on the fridge felt like a message. A warning. Or maybe a threat. When I picked Lily up from school, she immediately noticed my face. Mom/Dad, he came inside, didn't he? Her voice wasn't scared. It was sad. Like she had been expecting this. I swallowed hard. How do you know? She touched her chest lightly. I feel it. The house feels wrong now. Kids say strange things all the time. But Lily's quiet certainty shook me. At home, she refused to leave my side. She ate next to me. She colored next to me. She even sat outside the bathroom door while I showered. Every few minutes, she'd look at the hallway nervously. At 7 p.m., I found her sitting alone in the living room, staring at the wall. Lily? What are you looking at? She pointed slowly. He likes that corner. The corner was empty. Just a shadow from the lamp. I forced a smile. It's nothing, sweetheart. But when she whispered, no, he stands there at night, I felt my stomach twist. After dinner, she picked up her crayons and started drawing again. Normally she drew flowers, sunsets, trees, but not tonight. She drew our hallway. Dark. Crooked. With that same tall man standing at the end. Only this time, he was closer. Almost reaching us. I tried to stay calm. Why is he getting closer, Lily? She didn't answer at first. Then she said softly, because he's done watching. My hand shook so badly I had to set the drawing down. I called my sister just to hear another adult voice. I tried to mention the strange things, the door, the feeling, the drawings. She laughed nervously. You're tired. You're overthinking. Kids have wild imaginations. Maybe she was right. Maybe I was tired. Maybe everything had a logical explanation. But then something happened that tore away any doubt. While Lily watched cartoons, I went to take out the trash. When I opened the front door, a man was standing across the street. Tall. Long coat. Still. Facing our house. Not moving. Not talking. Just staring. I froze. He didn't blink. He didn't look away. He just watched me. My breathing turned shallow. I quickly stepped inside and slammed the door. Lily ran into the hallway. What happened? I couldn't speak. I just held her tightly until I could breathe again. When she finally pulled back, she asked in a tiny voice, was he outside? I couldn't lie. Yes. She nodded like she already knew. Before bed, she drew one last picture. This time she didn't show it to me. She hid it under her pillow. But later that night, when she fell asleep, I pulled it out gently. It was a drawing of our house. And in the window, the tall man was standing right behind me. Something inside me shattered. This wasn't imagination. This wasn't childhood fear. Someone was after us. Someone real. And the most terrifying part wasn't the man outside. It was knowing that my daughter saw him long before I did. For the first time since this started, I couldn't sleep. Every sound felt louder. Every shadow felt alive. Every creak in the house felt like a warning. I kept replaying the image in my head. The tall man outside the house. Standing still. Like he was waiting for something. Or someone. By 3 in the morning I was still awake. I checked on Lily. She was sleeping peacefully, hugging her drawing pad like a stuffed animal. Her hair spread across the pillow, her small chest rising and falling softly. And I knew I had to protect her, no matter what. I quietly left her room and went to the living room. The house felt colder than usual, too cold. As I walked past the hallway, I stopped. Her drawing. The one with the man behind me. It was on the floor now. Not under her pillow where I found it. I froze. Did she bring it out? Did she drop it? Or did someone else move it? That thought made my heart race. I grabbed the drawing and put it away, trying to calm down. In the morning, I took Lily to school early. She held my hand tighter than usual. At the school gate, she whispered, "Don't stay alone today." "Why?" I asked gently. Her eyes filled with tears. "Because he wants you alone." I felt the blood drain from my face. I hugged her tightly until she walked inside. Right then I made a decision. I drove straight to the police station. A tired-looking officer at the desk barely looked up. "Can I help you?" I showed him a picture on my phone, the drawing. "My daughter drew this. There's a man following us. I saw him last night." He sighed like he'd heard 1,000 strange complaints. "Do you have a photo of this man?" "No, but..." "Did he speak to you? Threaten you? Enter your house?" "I think he did." "You think?" The way he said it, cold, dismissive, made me feel stupid. I tried again. "My front door was unlocked. My daughter keeps drawing him. He stands outside our home." He cut me off. "Without proof, we can't do anything." I left shaking with anger and fear. Not because he didn't believe me, but because I knew I was on my own now. On the way home, I stopped at the grocery store. I didn't need food, I just needed to breathe, to think. I walked inside, grabbed a basket, and that's when I saw him again. At the end of the aisle. Tall. Still. Long coat. Head slightly tilted, as if he was listening. My throat tightened. I turned away, pretending to browse items. I could feel him behind me, not touching, not moving, just present. When I finally looked back, he was gone. I rushed out of the store, checked around my car. Nothing. I drove home faster than I should have. Inside the house, I locked every door and window, pulled every curtain, turned on every light. But I still felt watched. That afternoon, I pulled out old storage boxes looking for something, anything, that might explain who this man was. Lily's father? No, we hadn't spoken in years. He lived across the country and had no idea about any of this. An old neighbor? A coworker? Someone from my childhood? Nothing made sense. Then while digging through old photos, I found something strange. A picture from Lily's 3rd birthday. Kids, balloons, cake. And in the very corner, almost hidden, a tall man wearing a long coat. His face blurry. Too blurry. Almost like he moved the moment the photo was taken. I stared at the picture for a long time. Was it him? Or was I imagining things? Before I could think further, my phone buzzed. A message from Lily's school. She had been crying in class. They asked me to pick her up early. I arrived to find her sitting alone with her backpack in her lap, knees pulled to her chest. She ran into my arms as soon as she saw me. "What happened, sweetheart?" Her voice shook. "He was at school." My heart nearly stopped. "What? Who? How?" She pointed to the gate. "The tall man. He stood there watching the children. But he only looked at you." My blood ran cold. "He was looking at me?" She nodded slowly. "And he smiled." Fear hit me like a punch. I grabbed her hand. "Let's go home." But before we reached the parking lot, she tugged my arm. "No, home isn't safe." Her eyes were wide, terrified. I bent down to her level. "Then where should we go?" She looked behind me. Into the empty playground. Then she whispered, "Somewhere he can't follow." But I didn't know a place like that. Not yet. As I drove, Lily sat in the back seat, shaking. I kept glancing at the rearview mirror. Every car behind us looked suspicious. Every shadow felt like him. My hands were sweating on the steering wheel. Halfway home, I asked her quietly, "Lily, why is he following us?" She whispered, "He's not following us, Mom/Dad." I frowned. "Then what is he doing?" She met my eyes in the mirror. "He's choosing." I nearly slammed the brakes. "Choosing what?" Her little voice broke. "Choosing who gets hurt first." After Lily said those 4 words, "He's choosing who gets hurt first." The car felt too small. The air felt too heavy. My own heartbeat was louder than the engine. I tried to stay calm for her, but inside, I was breaking. Lily, I whispered. What do you mean he's choosing? She hugged her backpack tighter. He watches us. He watches you more. He wants you, but he's waiting for something. My hand started to shake again on the steering wheel. Waiting for what? She stared out the window. I don't know yet. Her answer terrified me more than anything she could have said. I drove past our neighborhood, too scared to stop. I didn't know where to go, but I knew where I couldn't go home. Home wasn't safe anymore. Not with that man in the shadows. Not with the drawing pin to the fridge. Not with Lily sensing things long before I did. I parked the car near a quiet park. Lily climbed into the front seat and curled up beside me. Sweetheart, I said gently. How long have you seen him? She played with her fingers for a moment, then whispered. Since I turned 5. My heart dropped. Why didn't you tell me? You didn't believe me before, she said softly. And he gets stronger when grown-ups don't listen. A chill ran through me. Stronger how? She shook her head. I can't explain it. It feels like he grows bigger inside the dark places. Those words made something click in my mind. The unlocked door. The cold rooms. The shadows in corners. Places where light couldn't reach. I exhaled shakily and wiped my face with both hands. I needed help, real help, not the kind of dismissal the police gave me. There was only one adult who might take this seriously. My childhood friend Emma. She was the rational type, but she loved Lily like her own. Maybe she'd see what I was seeing. Maybe she could help us get away for a few days. I drove to Emma's house. She welcomed us in immediately, shocked by our panicked faces. What happened? Why is Lily trembling? Why are you pale? I didn't know where to start, so I showed her the drawing. Her face tightened. Is this a funeral? Is that you? I nodded. And this man behind you? He's real, I whispered. She didn't laugh. She didn't tell me I was imagining things. She didn't brush me off. She took a deep breath. Sit. Tell me everything. So I did. The unlocked door. The shadows. The grocery store. The school gate. The picture moving from the table to the fridge. Emma listened, really listened without interrupting. When I finished, she looked at Lily and asked gently, Who is he? Lily swallowed hard. I don't know his name, but he knows ours. Emma glanced at me, worried. Has anyone from your past come back? An ex? A relative? Someone dangerous? I shook my head. No, at least not that I know of. Emma frowned. What about your family? Do you know everyone? I hesitated. My childhood wasn't exactly simple. I had a father who left when I was young, a mother who kept secrets, and relatives we barely spoke to. But there was one thing I never forgot. A single memory from when I was Lily's age. I remembered standing in a hallway crying. A man's voice whispering behind me. A cold hand touching my shoulder. But the memory was blurry, distant. Like something I wasn't supposed to remember. My mother never talked about it. She would always say, You were dreaming. But what if I wasn't? As that old memory slipped into my mind, my breathing grew shallow. Emma noticed immediately. What is it? What did you remember? I think someone used to watch me too. I whispered. The room went silent. Emma leaned forward. Do you think it's the same man? I nodded slowly. I don't know how, but yes. I think he's been near us before. Maybe years ago. Emma grabbed my hand. We're not staying here tonight. We're going to a hotel. Somewhere safe. But before we could even stand up, Lily suddenly gasped. A small, sharp cry that twisted my stomach. I turned to her. Her eyes were wide, staring at the hallway of Emma's house. Lily? I whispered. She pointed with a shaking finger. He's here. Emma froze. I felt my entire world collapse. What do you mean he's here? I whispered. Lily's voice trembled. He followed us. He doesn't need our house. He just needs you. The lights in the hallway flickered. Emma grabbed her keys. Get up. We're leaving. Now. But Lily whispered something that made my blood turn cold. We're not fast enough. He's already inside the walls. I held Lily tightly, my legs shaking, my voice almost gone. Lily, what does he want? She looked up at me with tears in her eyes. He wants the same thing he wanted from you. When you were little. Everything inside me went still. What did he want from me? What did he try to do? What had my mind tried to forget? That's when Lily said the words that changed everything. He chose you first. When Lily whispered, he chose you first, it felt like someone punched the air out of my lungs. I stared at her, my little girl whose drawings always came true, and for the first time I wasn't scared for her. I was scared because of what she knew about me. I knelt down, holding her hands. Lily, what do you mean he chose me first? How could you know something about my childhood? She slowly lifted a trembling finger and touched my forehead. Because I can feel it in you. Her voice was soft, but the meaning hit me like thunder. All at once, memories I had buried or forgotten, or maybe been forced to forget, began scratching at the edges of my mind. Emma grabbed her keys. We need to leave now. But Lily tugged my shirt. He's not outside anymore. My voice cracked. Then where is he? She pointed upward toward the ceiling. He's above us. A cold sweat washed over me, but I forced myself to breathe. Emma whispered, terrified. Attic. I whispered back. Or the crawl space. We backed toward the door, but Lily shook her head. No. Running makes him come faster. How do you know that? I asked. She looked at me with eyes far too old for her age. Because he chased you when you ran. My heart began hammering. Emma grabbed my arm. What is she talking about? What chased you? I swallowed hard. I don't know. I don't remember. But that wasn't the truth. Something inside me did remember. Something cold. Something dark. Something I had pushed down for decades. We drove to a hotel, a cheap one, quiet far away. Emma checked us in. Lily curled up on the bed, sketchbook in her lap. I sat on the edge of the mattress, running my hands through my hair. Emma paced in front of me. You have to think, okay? Think carefully. Did anything happen to you when you were little? I shook my head again. No. I mean, I don't remember anything serious. Nothing. Emma pressed. No strange man? No incidents? No nightmares? Nightmares. That word unlocks something. A faint image. A hallway. A shadow stretching across the floor. Me hiding in a closet. Covering my ears. Trying to block out a man's whisper. Come out. I see you anyway. My breathing grew uneven. I remember a dream, I whispered. But maybe it wasn't a dream. Emma sat next to me. Tell me. There was a man. I think. Tall, quiet. I remember feeling cold whenever he was near me. And my mother told me I was imagining things. What did he do? Emma asked gently. I squeezed my eyes shut. I don't know. All I know is that I was scared to sleep. Scared to be alone. Scared of the dark hallways. Emma looked at me with a seriousness I wasn't prepared for. What if your mother lied to you? What if something did happen, but she didn't want you to remember? Before I could answer, Lily sat up. I can show you, she whispered. Emma and I froze. Show us what? I asked. She opened her sketchbook. Inside was a new drawing. Not of our house. Not of the man. Not of my funeral. It was a picture of me as a child. Small. Curled up. Hiding under a blanket. Terrified. And behind me, the same tall man with no face. My throat tightened. How do you know this? I whispered. I see him in you, she said simply. He didn't follow us because of me. Her eyes filled with tears. He came back, because of you. Emma's hand flew to her mouth. My voice trembled. Lily, what did he want from me? She hesitated like she was scared of hurting me. Then she whispered. He wanted to take something from you. Something he couldn't steal before. What? I asked. She pointed gently at my chest. Your light. I didn't understand. What light? Lily's voice cracked. The part of you that makes you human. Your hope. Your life. Your future. Emma whispered, horrified. You mean like your soul? Lily didn't answer out loud, but she nodded. I felt like the ground under me disappeared. Emma stood up, pacing again. So this thing, this man, whatever he is, he's connected to your childhood trauma. He's coming back to finish something he started. I buried my face in my hands. This is insane. This can't be real. Lily crawled into my lap and hugged me tightly. It's real, Mom/Dad. And he's getting closer. I hugged her back, trying not to fall apart. Then she whispered something in my ear. Something so small and fragile that I almost didn't catch it. He waited until you forgot him. Now he wants you to remember. A shiver ran down my spine. Because suddenly, things did start to come back. Little flashes. Little pieces. A man in our yard. A shadow by my bedroom door. Cold hands pulling at my blanket. My mother whispering, "Don't look at him. Don't speak to him. He'll go away." But he never went away. He just waited. For years. And Lily saw him long before I remembered him. I looked at my daughter, this small brave child, and realized she wasn't just warning me. She was my only protection. "Lily," I whispered. "How do I stop him?" Her eyes slowly shifted toward the door of the hotel room, and she said, "You can't stop him. Until you remember everything." Lily's words stayed in my head like an echo I couldn't shut off. You can't stop him. Until you remember everything. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the hotel room floor, back against the wall, staring at the carpet while Lily and Emma finally drifted off. The room was dark except for the small lamp on the nightstand. Every sound made me jump. Footsteps outside, doors closing, cars passing. Not because I thought he was here, but because part of me was terrified that I already knew him. I whispered to myself, "What am I forgetting?" But no answer came. Not until around 3 a.m. That's when I suddenly remembered something so small, so ordinary, that it didn't even feel important at first. A bicycle. My old pink bicycle with the white basket and the little bell. I don't know why it came to mind, but the moment I pictured it, another memory broke through. A memory that did not belong to a dream. I was riding it down the street. Sun was setting. Fireflies everywhere. And I remember hearing footsteps behind me. Slow. Heavy. Measured. I turned my head, and I saw a man standing near the woods. Tall. Still. Watching me. I didn't know him, but I remember feeling cold even though it was summer. That memory cracked something inside me, like the first break in a dam. More followed. I saw myself walking home with my backpack. The same man was across the street, pretending to read a newspaper, pretending not to look at me. At the time, I didn't think it was strange. I didn't understand danger. Children don't. But I remembered something else, something clearer, darker. My mother grabbing my shoulders hard, dragging me inside, locking the door, closing every curtain, then kneeling down to my eye level with a fear I had never seen in her before. "Did you talk to him?" she whispered. I asked who. Her hand shook as she held my face. "If he speaks to you, don't answer. Ever." The memory hit so hard my eyes filled with tears right there in the dark hotel room. Emma woke up and saw me shaking. "Hey, what happened? What's wrong?" I wiped my face, trying to breathe. "Emma, my mother knew about him." Emma sat next to me instantly. "Knew what? What exactly did she know?" "That he watched me. That he followed me. That he tried to talk to me." Emma stared at me, horrified. "And she didn't tell anyone? Didn't call the police?" I shook my head. "No. She told me to ignore him. Like he was some kind of problem you just pretend isn't there." Emma rubbed her forehead, frustrated. "So she kept everything quiet. She hid it. She hid it so well that you forgot." I nodded slowly. "And I think I forgot because I wanted to. I was scared. All the time." Before either of us could say anything else, Lily sat up in bed. Suddenly, like someone pulled her out of a nightmare. Her eyes were wide. "Mom/Dad. I saw something." My heart dropped. "What did you see, sweetheart?" She looked at me with fear that didn't belong on a child's face. "You were crying in a small room. A man was outside the door, whispering your name." Emma froze. "What room?" she asked softly. Lily shook her head. "I don't know. But you were little. And you were hiding. And the door, it wasn't locked." I rubbed my arms, trying to warm myself. "Can you draw it?" I asked. She nodded and picked up her sketchbook. Emma looked at me. "Why didn't your mother ever tell you the truth? Why didn't she warn you when he came back?" I shook my head. "I don't know. But I think there's something she didn't want me to remember." Lily turned her sketchbook around. My stomach dropped. She drew a small room. A storage space with boxes, shelves, cleaning supplies. And there in the corner was a little girl hugging her knees. Me. Outside the door, a tall shadow leaned toward the crack, like he was smelling the air. I whispered, "I know that room." Emma leaned in. "What room is it?" "My old house. The basement storage room." Emma stared at me. "You hid there as a kid?" "I don't remember doing it. But I must have. And he must have followed me inside." Lily whispered, "He didn't get you then. But he wanted to." The weight of that sentence made my whole chest tighten. Emma took my hand. "Then we need answers. Real ones." I nodded slowly, and for the first time in years, I knew exactly where to find them. My childhood home. The house where it all started. The house where all my memories end. I took a deep breath and whispered, "We're going back." Lily closed her sketchbook, her voice trembling. "He'll know you're coming." Emma swallowed hard. "Let him," she said. "We're not running anymore." And as I held Lily close, I realized something terrifying. The man wasn't haunting my daughter because of who she was. He was haunting her because of who I used to be. And because of what he failed to take all those years ago. The next morning I drove toward the one place I swore I'd never see again. My childhood home. Lily sat quietly in the back seat, hugging her sketchbook. Emma held my hand the entire ride. Even when the road narrowed and the trees thickened. I hadn't driven this way in years. The closer we got, the heavier the air felt. As if the place itself remembered what I had forgotten. When the house finally came into view, my breath caught in my throat. Same white paint. Same crooked mailbox. Same tall oak tree in the front yard. But the house looked smaller. Older. Sad. Emma whispered, "Are you okay?" I nodded, even though the answer was no. When we stepped out of the car, the wind felt wrong. Too cold for a sunny afternoon. Lily clutched my sleeve. "He knows you're here." My stomach tightened. We walked up the cracked pathway. The front door was locked, but the spare key was still taped under the flower pot, just like it had been when I was a kid. I unlocked the door slowly. The inside smelled like dust and old paint. Silence hung in the air like a curtain. But it wasn't an empty silence. It felt watched. Emma whispered, "What exactly are we looking for?" I swallowed. "A memory." We moved room to room. The living room. The kitchen. My old bedroom with faded wallpaper of stars. Everything looked the same, and nothing looked familiar. It was like walking through a dream I had forgotten. Lily pressed her hand on the wall. "He followed you here." I froze. "What do you mean?" "He walked in the house. He walked around. He waited." Emma squeezed my hand tighter. "Where did he wait, Lily?" Lily looked down the hallway without speaking. I already knew. The basement. My legs felt stiff as we stood before the basement door. I exhaled shakily. I haven't opened this door in 15 years. I turned the knob. The hinges groaned. A wave of cold air rose up the stairs, brushing past us like fingers. The basement was dark. Too dark. Emma turned on her phone flashlight. "Stay close." We started down the stairs one slow step at a time. My heart was pounding so loud I could hear it echo in my ears. Halfway down, Lily whispered, "He was here. That night. When you were hiding." I swallowed hard. "When was that, Lily?" She squeezed her sketchbook. "When you were little. When you locked yourself in the storage room. And he stood right outside the door." My footsteps faltered. Images returned like flashes. A matchbox. A broken toy. My knees scraped on the cold floor. Whispering. A shadow under the door. Emma touched my back. "It's okay. Take your time." At the foot of the stairs, we reached the basement floor. The smell of old cement hit me hard. I knew exactly where the storage room was, tucked in the far left corner. But I wasn't ready to walk there. Not yet. Because another memory hit me like a brick. My mother's voice. Sharp, desperate, whispering. "Don't let him in. Don't let him take anything from you." Emma looked at me. "What did he want to take?" I shook my head slowly. "I don't know. But I think he tried." We approached the storage room, the door old, cracked, slightly open. A chill crawled up my spine. Emma whispered, "Do you want me to open it?" I forced myself to step forward. "No. It has to be me." My hand trembled as I pushed the door. The room was small, cold, dusty. But the moment I stepped inside, something hit me. A memory. Clear. Sharp. Violent. I saw my younger self, curled up in the same corner, bare feet shaking, hands over my ears. And outside the door, I heard it again. A whisper. Slow. Deliberate. Calling my name. I staggered back, gasping. Emma rushed to me. Hey, you're okay. What happened? I pointed at the doorframe, shaking. I remember him. I remember. He tried to come inside. Lily stepped into the doorway and placed her hand flat on the wood. She closed her eyes. And when she spoke, her voice wasn't childish at all. It was calm. Sad. He came into the house because he followed your light. But someone pushed him out. My breath caught. Who? She opened her eyes. Your mother. Emma blinked. She protected you? Lily nodded. She didn't stop him forever. But she stopped him that night. My chest ached. All these years I thought she ignored my fear. Dismissed me. Didn't believe me. But she wasn't ignoring me. She was hiding the truth. Protecting me from it. Emma whispered. Why didn't she tell you? I shook my head slowly. I think she was scared he'd come back if I remembered him. Lily tugged my hand gently. He came back anyway. I looked at the dusty floor. At the spot where my childhood tears fell years ago. For the first time, I wasn't afraid of remembering anymore. I was afraid of what came next. Emma asked quietly. Is this where we finish it? Here. In this house. I looked at Lily. She stared toward the shadowy corner of the room. No, she whispered. Not yet. Why not? Emma asked. Lily's voice trembled. Because he isn't here. Emma stiffened. Then where is he? Lily turned slowly, her eyes lifting toward the basement stairs. And she whispered. He followed us back. The air in the basement changed in an instant. It felt heavier, thicker, like someone else was breathing with us. Emma grabbed Lily, pulling her close. My heart slammed so hard I could hear it in my ears. I whispered. Lily, where is he? She didn't look scared anymore. Just sad. He's standing at the top of the stairs. Emma and I both turned. The basement doorway above us was dark. A long empty rectangle. Until it wasn't. A figure shifted. Slowly. Silently. Tall. Still. Exactly like the shadow from my childhood drawings. Emma stepped back, whispering, we need to go. Now. But Lily didn't move. She walked toward me instead. Mom/Dad. He's not here to take me. Her voice trembled. He came to finish what he started with you. My legs locked. My mouth went dry. The figure took one step down. The wood creaked under his foot. The sound rippled through the basement like a warning. Then another step. I held Lily tight. Why now? I whispered. Why come after all these years? Lily looked up at me with tears in her eyes. Because you remember him now. And remembering made you visible again. My stomach twisted. Emma stood in front of us, shaking but brave. You're not taking anyone, she said. But the figure kept descending. 10 steps. 9. 8. Every step felt like a countdown. My entire childhood fear came rushing back. The shame, the silence, the terror of that whisper through the door. But now I wasn't a child. And I wasn't alone. Lily took my hand. He can't touch you if you don't fear him. I stared at her. What do you mean? That's why he wanted you when you were little, she whispered. Fear makes your light weak. He feeds on that weakness. Emma squeezed my shoulder. You're not weak anymore. 7 steps. 6. 5. The basement lights flickered. My pulse thundered. I stepped forward, my voice breaking but steady. You don't control me anymore. For the first time, the shadow figure paused. Just 1 second. But it was enough. Lily whispered. He can't move when you face him. Something inside me, something buried for decades, finally rose. Every moment of fear, every sleepless night, every memory I was forced to forget. I let it burn. I stood tall. You're done. 4 steps. 3. 2. He froze completely, then slowly faded into the darkness. As if the shadows swallowed him whole. The air lifted. The cold disappeared. The weight was gone. Emma collapsed into my arms. Lily hugged my waist tightly. Is he gone? Emma whispered. Lily nodded softly. For now. My voice shook. For now. Lily looked up at me, calm, wise, too old for her age. He can't hurt you anymore. Because you finally remembered. Emma wiped her eyes. And what about you, Lily? Are you safe? Lily smiled, a tired, gentle smile. He never wanted me. She pointed to my chest. He wanted the part of you that shines. I exhaled, trembling. And now? Now, Lily whispered. That part is awake. We walked up the basement stairs together. Slowly, quietly into the sunlight waiting outside. And as I locked the door behind us, I didn't feel fear. I felt free. Because some shadows don't disappear when the light comes. They disappear when you finally turn around and face them.